At Land Guys, we say every property tells a story. And when it comes to waterfowl, that story starts with the land. Welcome to the Waterfowl Property Series, a Land Guys production, where we share real-world insights on building, managing, and enjoying waterfowl habitat. I'm Matt Cox.
And I'm Nathan Cumpton, and together we'll take you from the field to the blind to help you understand what makes great waterfowl ground. So let's dive in. Hey guys, episode 4 here on the Land Guys Waterfowl Property Series. Along with Matt Cox and Don Fowler, I am Nathan Cumpton. We are down in Greene County, Illinois at Don Fowler's legendary waterfowl property. We're going to take you on a tour and just kind of talk about how this property started. We're going to dive into different aspects of waterfowl habitat management, different decoy setups, and a lot of different things just all based around waterfowl. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome Don and Matt. Don, just tell us how this property got started.
Well, it's a long story, but I'll try to make it short. I've always been a waterfowl hunter. I never did own my own until this. I ran several duck clubs and had several leases and went through all the problems with having members and public hunting and that sort of thing, and I decided I wanted to have my own. So for years I came through this area going after quail when I had a hunting club, and I would see the mallards circling coming into this area, and that got my attention. The lease that I was running at the time did not have guaranteed water, and that's a major factor.
We talked about that on one of our last episodes.
You got to have water. So I knew if I was going to buy a property, it would have to have guaranteed water.
Yep.
So I had to get where there was an aquifer. And then I found out that things got expensive when it came to duck hunting. I met a farmer that owned a lot of land down here. Him and I talked, and he said that he might have something that I might like. He said, "Why don't you go look?" Well, he's a very big farmer. So what he did is he threw me a laser, said, "Go find what you want." So I started shooting elevations down here in these Greene County bottoms. And guys, the land is flat. So I found out if I put 5 inches of water here, I'd flood the road. So it took a unique property to where you could put water on it and hold water. That's a major factor. You can't have sand. Luck would have it, I found this place, and they worked with me. I couldn't have done it without them. We enrolled it in WRP program, which I've been through before, and there are a lot of restrictions, but there's a lot of good things about it. I did withhold some of the properties so that I could put in a well and do compatible use agreement by flooding it and all those sort of things. But the key was I was where ducks want to be, and there were 4 neighboring duck clubs. That's always a good thing. When you see other people are in the area, you know that you're probably in the right area. But it's been a problem with Illinois migration that we don't have the ducks we used to have.
Yeah.
So you got to work hard to make it happen. So that's kind of what we did. I found this, got it in WRP, bought the property from the owners, and started to work. And I actually was the contractor on this, and I rented a quad track and a 18-yard scraper, and started building levees, put the well in, put a road in.
You had to build the levees to
specifics
that the government told you had.
Absolutely. They surveyed it, and I had elevations, and I had some suggestions and some rules from them. One of the biggest factors was if I ever saw sand, if I hit sand with that scraper, I was to stop immediately and contact them. Well, fortunately, I'm in black gumbo. It's a tight soil. Being a past farmer, retired farmer, it's nothing I'd want to farm.
Right. Yeah, sticky.
It's either too dry or too wet. There's no in between. And but for putting water on, holding water, it's absolutely perfect. So we built a section out in the middle of this 91 acres that in the shape of a horseshoe.
Okay.
They called it an oxbow. So that's how the name came for this club, was the oxbow. And later on, I named it Oxbow 91 and put it in an LLC.
Okay.
So we move on from there. That's basically it. It worked out good, and I had ducks first year.
So what year did it all start?
It started for me in 2008.
Did you see instant success?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. I think the real story is years and years ago, this was a duck club, and the present farmer knocked a hole in the dam and let the water go and put that cistern in, as you can see behind us, and the fields were tiled into that cistern. And then they had a pump in there, and they pumped out of the cistern into the drainage to dry the field up.
Just to farm it, because they were done.
Just to farm it. But as I said, it was very tight soil, black gumbo, and the water didn't really get to the tile like they hoped. That was good for me, bad for them. And when I saw the yield history on this farm when I bought it, they had harvested 3 crops in 10 years because it's that wet. It's a wet farm.
Sure.
And all set up for a duck hole. It was perfect. I was blessed that there was power half a mile down here. Was able to put that well in, electric pump, and we did all that the first year. So yeah, that was actually 2008, and I took possession in 2011.
Okay, so you've owned it since 2011.
Correct.
But you leased it for a couple years
As-
prior just to get it all set up and the way you wanted it.
I was the power of attorney for the owners to get it into WRP. I've done it before. They didn't want any part of it, but they worked with me to have a simultaneous close, one with the government, one with me.
Mm-hmm.
So I did all the government work.
Okay.
So I kind of knew the regulations, and the property was kind of set up in 3 cells. The first higher elevation was warm season grasses, then we planted trees, then we started the wetlands.
What kind of trees did you plant, and what was the thought process behind planting the trees?
Well, we knew, Nathan, that it was going to be wet. Now, the water will go all the way to the road on a wet year, so we knew they had to be able to tolerate wet feet. So it was wet oaks, I think pin oak, swamp oak, bur oak, those varieties that would stand flooding. And as you saw earlier, they did well.
Yeah.
We got a tremendous stand of oaks coming, and this is the first year they're producing acorns.
Fantastic. The wood ducks will like that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, they will. And Don will too.
Yeah.
So turkeys like it. The deer are thick down here. We've got some real quality deer. Greene County's kind of noted for that. A well-kept secret, by the way. Don't tell anyone.
So we've kind of walked into how you got this place, why you got this place. After year 1, how did you, we kind of brought this up in one episode, how did you start determining where to put your blind?
Well, that's a good question, Matt, and that's an important one, because when you have a new property, you have no idea. Early on, before it went into WRP, I had put in a pit, and pits are pretty permanent. You know, you got to make sure you know where they need to be. So I had built a floating blind, and for 2 years I hunted out of that floating blind so I could watch. Even though it's only 60 acres we're flooding out of the 91, you can be a long ways from where they want to be. So we hunted out of a floating blind where we could move where the ducks wanted to be. And after 2 years, we saw exactly where they want to be year in and year out. There's an X, as we all talk, you got to be on the X. So I know where that is on this property, but it does vary depending on the weather, the wind, those sort of things. But that pit is on the X. for this property. But the floating blind still gets used. Occasionally, the ducks will change their mind and throw me a curveball, so I get to get under them. You got to be under them.
Sure.
I don't care how good you are at calling or decoy placement. You still got to be where they want to be.
Now, how far are you from what we would talk about, like your closest preserve, your closest
Okay.
rest area?
Well, south of us, it's probably 10 miles
Okay.
from a refuge. But in this area, it's set up. The Illinois River is here to the west.
How many miles from here?
It's
to
probably a mile and a half to
Okay.
the Illinois River. And then probably a mile and a half north of me is at Apple Creek. Apple Creek is a major good duck hunting area.
Okay.
And then south of me is what they call Mundy Slough. So I got borders on the north and the south that the ducks fly coming off the river, and then they want to cut across to go to each waterway.
So you're in a high traffic area.
Well, yeah, they come right over
Yeah.
me. So that was another deciding factor on why I wanted this farm.